Hello, everybody. My name is Zerduku, and welcome back to Zap Entertainment. Um, I'm making this video because I'm finally done with my writing, so that means it's all up to my editors to uh to do the finish up the writing process, and everything will be released on April. 5 books. Yeah. I feel sorry for my good friend the Gun Kid. So I'm gonna try to see if I can get my get Akari to read at least two of those. So the Gun Kid doesn't have to read all five because he's not very, because he sees words backwards, so it's hard for him to read. But that's not why I'm making this video. I'm making this video because well, actually, I'm making this video for two reasons, and one of them I just mentioned is because that I am done. I'm finished with the writing process of my books, and I was up to my editors. Second reason that I'm making this video is a while ago when Akari did Fluffy the Strange episode 1, she mentioned that it's the same thing as Kirby Way Back at You TV show, and why is the light reflecting off of that like that? What the hell is reflecting off of that? There's nothing. There's no light behind here. Whatever, doesn't matter. But anyways, yeah. She says it's the same thing as freaking Kirby. Not really per se. Although Fluffy the Strange is, yes, I will confirm it was inspired by the Kirby Way Back at You series. But I disagree a little bit because I mean, Fluffy is not the same thing as Kirby per se. There's some kind of some big differences. One, the whole one particular thing is the design of Fluffy is there's some minor differences. Fluffy doesn't wear shoes. He doesn't wear shoes, and he has ears, and Kirby does not. Those are some of the sort of minor differences of their design. Also, watching the show, rewatching the show as an adult, um, the one thing I noticed is most of Kirby's origins gets um, told on like the first 3 episodes, most of it, and they kind of make a sort of like a thing of like, oh, we're gonna find the origins of Kirby. That's the name of the show. At the same time, finding Nightmare Mountain. Nah, not completely true. If you ever watch the rest of the series, most of it focuses on the Cappy characters from Cappy Town. I understand it's a TV show for kids and it's all about, they want to add some imagination to it so kids are interested. But I really much rather focus on the main characters like Kirby and the whole nightmare monsters that King Dedede uses to, try to get rid of Kirby. But there's a lot of like episodes where it feels like it's like picking on propaganda stuff with King Dedede making like all these TV show like episodes where there's one where he's faking a monster attack. There's one where he somehow convinces all the freaking Cappies to work for him to make a cartoon show so he can pay off the bill from for buying monsters from the Nightmare Enterprises. And those are, in my opinion, the worst episodes because it's like they're taking away the focus away from Kirby and focusing more on like the concept of propaganda almost. And I feel like it doesn't really mash well with the show that much. Uh, But I will say it's a good show and worth watching because even though the music is like recycled, some of the same music that they already use is recycled a little bit, and some of it is re-edited. The music is really great. The TV show itself is great. The whole, especially when Kirby's actually fighting monsters. Uh, that is really interesting because some of the monsters are very imaginative. Some of them are. although some of them are kind of stupid, but most of them are actually pretty imaginative, and it's like, wow, the imagination in the show is great. Um, and that's what inspired me to write Fluffy, Fluffy the Strange. Originally, I think it was called the strange creature known as Fluffy, but someone made a suggestion on my Discord to change that and just call it Fluffy the Strange. And actually, that kind of grew on me because when I first made up the title, I couldn't come up with any other ways to the name of the book at the time, and I kept I kept saying the title back to myself, "The strange creature known as Fluffy." That title is way too fucking long. It's like Jesus. That's my biggest problem with it. It was just too long. But it did actually tell you exactly what you were going to get. The whole concept of Fluffy, which makes it very different from the Kirby show, is that you have these human characters in our world trying to figure out uh, what is Fluffy, where did he come from, and what side is he on? Because in the very first episode, as you guys probably know if you ever actually watched it, Fluffy attacks a student at a school. Also, it should be noted that Fluffy the Strange is so much darker than the Kirby Web Action series, and the reason for that is because all of my books that I recently been writing is for adults. I've been writing for the elderly audience, and some people might think, oh, you're not going to get much of an audience. Well, that might be true, but at the same time, though, I really feel like there should be more, uh, entertainment for the elderly, because I kind of feel like nowadays people are alienating their audience with only making stuff that are meant for like a group of families. And I'm just thinking to myself, well, nowadays people sit by themselves in front of their televisions nowadays. So it's kind of like you, you need to divide the audience of your whatever it is you're making. You can decide to make TV shows for kids. You can make TV shows for teenagers. You can make TV shows for adults. I decided to make books for adults because um, I just because it's so much easier for me as a writer to because I'm an amateur writer. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, to be honest. I really don't know what I'm doing, and I much rather not have too many restraints of what it is I'm writing. I much rather go all out rather than restrain myself writing for kids. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to write for adults, regardless is what it is I'm writing. Some people might think I'm writing for kids just because some of my art style it feels like for kids. It should be noted because that I don't know what I'm doing. The only program I know how to do, because a lot of this I'm doing by myself, most of it I'm doing by myself, is that the only program I know how to use for art is Paint program, and I'm not going to waste my time trying to learn something new because it could take me 100 years because of my autism really hinders me trying to learn something new. It literally, I have to repeat things like on a daily schedule for me to actually like freaking get it stuck in my head for me to actually learn something new. And that could take weeks to a month, depending on how you schedule it. And it literally, matter of fact, when I was a teenager, it literally took me like a week just to learn my phone number. Well, actually, no, it took 3 months to learn my phone number. I'm sorry. That's another thing about my autism. I'm not sure if it's something. I think that's something recently. I think I'm getting Alzheimer's or something at an early age of 30, where I'm just like, I just can't remember things. It's like, I mean, brain, where the fuck are you? It's that you know that I'm constantly deal with. Regardless, though, so I do disagree with uh my sister Tilly, yeah, Tilly or you know what? Oh yeah, we do. I do call her Tilly. I hate the fact that she has 3 Discord names. Makes it so confusing. Doesn't matter. So, anyways, my sister claims that Kirby and Fluffy are the same thing. Not really. I just told you right now that it's that Fluffy is so much darker. The premise is very different, and it takes place in the human world instead of some sort of weird imagination world that's meant for kids. The Fluffy's meant for adults, which is a big difference. Another difference is the transformations of Fluffy. Fluffy is more. Uh, I know that this is not explained in any of the stories yet, but Fluffy's ability to transform are limited to certain elements that he can use, and it's not like he copies an ability like Kirby does. Kirby copies an ability. Fluffy transmutes like things that he eats and transmutes it into magic, and that magic is funneled through his body for him to transform. And that's how he transforms. And most of the magical elements are elemental magic, like a fire, earth, wind, and lightning kind of deal. Uh, Most of them are elemental. There are some abilities that are not elemental. Matter of fact, in the first book, the first transformation was that he uh, I really don't want to give away the name of the forms, but you know what? I think I'm gonna have to at this point. The first transform is actually where he can like summon different weapons, and it's a kind of like a weapon transformation where he can summon like well, if he inhales like say a sword, he can pull out a sword, but he can also change that sword into like a hammer or something during his transformation. Another thing that should be mentioned, and I'm going to make this canon right now, is that Fluffy can only maintain his transformations for 16 minutes. Otherwise, he gets too tired and then just transforms back. But 16 minutes is a long time in a battle. He would probably you probably will he more likely would just wind up killing his enemies before the 16 minutes are up. And Fluffy has a lot of durability. He can take a lot of punishment. He's basically a tank in a way. And it should be noted that technically Fluffy is not very fast, so he really is technically a tank. But he can still move at a decent speed regardless. He can even kind of just roll out of the way of attacks because all he is a frickin' dang on uh, tennis ball in the same size as like a beach ball. Actually, no, he's the size of a soccer ball. Really, to be honest, he's the exact same size of a soccer ball. At least a common one, anyways. And yeah, and he's basically kind of like almost the same round as same like round shape as a soccer ball, so he can literally just roll around, which can increase his speed. But honestly, at that point, Fluffy can't see where he's going at that point. But yeah, but anyways, I'm gonna talk a little bit about my books, about like what's going to be coming this April and what's coming in between that. Now that I'm done with the writing process, it's all gamer mode for me. So I'm back to Explosives Entertainment doing a bunch of videos, and I hope you guys can keep up with all my YouTube videos. But I am hoping that Akari will do a little bit of reading for my friend Will, because 5 books is a little much than what I was expecting. I was only going to let him. Only going to be releasing 4 books, but uh, one of my books, I changed one of my books' release schedule for April, and there is a good reason for that. But I'm going to keep that a secret for now. Maybe when I release that when I have somebody read that particular book, I will explain it, but not in this video. In another video, in the future. Alrighty, so I think I've said all of I need to say. I think. So, with that being said, please like and subscribe, and this is Zerduko signing out for now.